Hi there, and these comments are for a student who it looks like you're doing my free TOEFL writing evaluation service. So I think you said in the email you want to be a physical therapist, you need to improve your writing. So you want to find out what you can do to make the writing better. Am I right? So that's kind of where we are. Okay, I have the independent writing rubrics right here. I have your essay on the other side. So, um, okay, so looking at the essay here, I'm going to give you a score of 3.75 out of 5, 24 points out of 30. So let's take a look at some of the paragraphs here and think about what you can do to improve your writing. So, I'm going to just give you one tip here, I think, in this essay. So, in the beginning, according to me, if there's no need to say that, that's a useless, empty phrase. It doesn't just say if teachers are getting paid more, they will be encouraged. And I think I'm going to use the word motivated here. They'll be motivated to do their jobs more effectively, and they will be less likely to quit. And see, I will explain this in the following essay. Why depend on that? People use that sentence as a crutch. Why not just put the two key points of your thesis? You already said encourage, which is motivate, right? So that's the purpose of paragraph 2. If you just say they're less likely to quit the profession, that restates the purpose of paragraph 3. So now you have a specifically framed thesis, and then the key points or the topic sentences of each body paragraph restate those key points. Right? And we didn't make anything longer. And with the introduction, I would encourage you to try to get closer to about 100 words on the introduction instead of how you did it. So instead, it's important for students to be attentive to what their teachers are teaching them. But even before that, you can talk about education, teachers, and students in a more general sense. Then you can narrow that down to what you have here. Okay, let's look at one of your paragraphs to begin with. The teachers are paid according to how much your students understand. And I'm going to use they. They goes back to teachers, right? So they will be motivated to teach their pupils more thoroughly. So in this case, we have if teachers blah, 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 then they. So you're using they as a subject in the independent clause because it connects back to teachers. I think that's better than beginning that sentence with it. They will work more efficiently. It will promote positive reinforcement with an increment in their salary as a reward. Now, I think once you make this statement here, you have too many different general statements there. That's not a good idea. So you could say something like, for instance, right? So at this point, you make the assertion they will be motivated to teach your pupils more thoroughly. So that you give an example. So I had a teacher who taught me literature when I was in middle school. Sometimes I got bored in her class as I wasn't much interested in literature. I'm going to say in the subjects. You don't repeat literature twice. One day I heard from other students that the school, see, and this is where you really go off the cliff. I heard that the school would be increasing the salary of the teachers who showed the most promise in their teaching. Maybe you might say by increasing the grades of the students. The teachers were encouraged because of this. The next day, in the literature class, a teacher, and this is a good example, by the way. The next day in my literature class, a teacher was very enthusiastic about her teaching. She drew flowcharts, made a presentation of American literature. Now, this is where you're running into sentence structure problems. Once you put the semicolon after charts, a semicolon is used to connect independent clauses together. That's not what you are doing here. So she drew flowcharts and made a presentation of American literature. Well, if you do this, and let's put it here. We'll do it like this. The teacher whose new way of teaching made me understand the literature. How about made me understand and take an interest The teacher whose new way of teaching made me understand and to take an interest in the literature. So this gives you a little bit better sentence variety. Drew flowcharts and made a presentation. Maybe two. Drew flowcharts to make a presentation on American literature. This increased your productivity while teaching and the level of students' understanding as well. And you don't need a comma here. You're not using the coordinating conjunction to connect independent clauses together, right? So this increased your productivity while teaching and the level of students' understanding as well. For this reason, I believe that teachers who make an effort in making their students understand teachers who and then this, we have to take this idea and connect it back to the topic sentence up here. So we'll say, for this reason, I believe that teachers who are paid more will be motivated to improve their teaching. So then we'll have a little bit better paragraph. So if I went through the next paragraph, I'd be doing a lot of the same changes. But what did I do here? I got rid of some of the general statements directly after the topic sentence, right? And then we focused on the example that you gave, which was highly effective, and we polished some of the grammatical errors by making your verb tenses more consistent. That's exactly what we did here. So what's your score here? I think it would get probably close to 24 points. Somebody might disagree and score you a little bit lower, but I think it's possible that you might score 24 points on this. You're probably between 22 and 24 points. All right, thank you. And if you like my service, you can post this video somewhere. Post it in social media. You can say, hey, this guy gave me some free writing feedback, and tell other people about my service. And happy Christmas to you. I hope you have a happy 2021. And that whatever your goals are, academically, professionally, personally, I hope that you can reach these goals soon enough. All right? And I think with practice, I would love to help you more with your writing. I have a TOEFL writing boot camp course. I do give you feedback on 2 writing practice tests like I'm doing here, but much more extensively than what I'm doing here. I would correct everything. I would show you exactly how to take this essay and change it so it gets 5 out of 5. And I did change this paragraph, but we still need to work on paragraph 3 and paragraph 1 to show you some more changes. And I forgot to mention the conclusion. Look at the conclusion. I believe teachers should be paid to how much these students learn because it will increase their focus on teaching. You want to restate the thesis more, so instead of increasing, it will motivate them to improve their teaching, and they will be more likely to stay as teachers and not quit. So you even the conclusion needs to be connected better back to the introduction.